Scientists change a sickness virus to help heal people and even cure cancer, but they lose control of the virus. It changes most people into dangerous creatures called dark seekers. These creatures eat people and can't stand the sunlight. 3 years after the infection started, New York City was empty, and wild animals from the zoo walked around freely. The only person left is Robert, a former army scientist who lives with his dog Sam. Sam the dog assists Robert in hunting and joins him in any car. Robert is a kind, skilled hunter, allowing lions to share his prey. He sets an alarm to return home before sunset. His house is secure, with locked doors, windows, and clean steps to prevent dark seekers from detecting any scent. He has excellent food supplies and old news tapes to occupy his mind. Robert leads an everyday life, engaging in activities like listening to music, talking to Sam, bathing his dog, and cooking. However, nightfall brings back painful memories. He takes cover in the tub with Sam and guns due to the frightening sounds outside. He remembers the start of the disease and the government's decision to quarantine the island, causing panic among the people. Robert had to rush to send his wife Zoe and their daughter Marley and their puppy Sam to live with a relative far from the city. Zoe was upset when she realized Robert was staying behind to research the disease for a cure. A fight causes Robert to nearly crash his car, but he's still hopeful about finding a cure. After daily workouts with Sam, he runs experiments in his basement lab. Sam can't enter due to the risk of infection, so Robert tests different medicines on infected rats. One day, a rat shows improvement, showing the need for human testing. Robert and Sam visit a video store filled with mannequins for a sense of feeling normal. They also visit a park to gather vegetables and explore new houses for food, leaving behind most medicines and cleaning supplies. Robert sometimes finds harsh memories of the past, like bodies or unused nurseries. He sends a message over a radio to survivors from South Street Seaport and spends his time playing golf. One day, they follow a deer into a dark building, which worries Robert due to the potential presence of dark seekers. When Sam doesn't return from the building, Robert bravely enters the building, trying to remain unnoticed. If you hate it when your dogs do that, subscribe to the channel. Robert follows a blood trail upstairs and finds a body behind some furniture. He's scared at Sam, but it's a deer. He finds a group of dark seekers near a wall and quickly moves away, keeping his flashlight off them. He finds Sam hiding under a desk because she is scared. A dark seeker jumps at Robert from behind. Robert shoots it and escapes with Sam. He tells Sam to go a different way when the other dark seekers chase him. Robert runs to a window and jumps out just in time before the dark seekers catch him. The sunlight kills 2 dark seekers who fall with him and keep the rest inside. After finding Sam again, Robert sets up a trap on a bridge using a truck and some old clothes at the building entrance. Robert tells Sam not to follow him to stay safe. He puts some of his blood on the old clothes. When the dark seekers come to drink the blood, a trap makes the truck fall and pulls the dark seekers into the canvas. A second dark seeker, who seems to be the leader, comes out of the building to yell at Robert, but quickly returns when the sunlight starts hurting him. Later, Robert has a female dark seeker he caught in his lab tied to a table so he can test the cure he is making. He uses UV light to see that she has the virus and finds out that she has a butterfly tattoo. Robert starts to put the medicine he made from the rat that got better into her. After a few seconds of nothing, the dark seeker starts to yell and fight against her ties. After a scary moment, the dark seeker faints, and all signs of life go to 0 on the screens. Robert quickly gives her another shot to keep her alive, but when that doesn't work, she moves the furniture in anger. He puts the dark seeker behind a glass door and records his work for the day. He talks about how the leader dark seeker intentionally went into the sunlight. This makes Robert think they are ignoring their need to stay alive because they don't have enough brain function or food, and they are completely alone. This reminds Robert of the day the sickness started, when people started acting crazy in the streets. Many ships were leaving the island, but only people leaving for good could go. People didn't like being stuck, especially when children asked for help. The military blocked the roads. The soldiers had orders to take Robert and his family to a safe place, so they walked. When they got to the port, the soldiers used a machine to check if they were sick. Marley was okay, but Zoe wasn't. The mother and daughter were scared because they didn't want to be separated. This made Robert use his rank to cause a commotion and ask for another check. Zoe was okay this time. Because they were a military family, they had to leave by helicopter. Robert wanted to stay and said goodbye to Zoe and Marley. They decided to leave Sam with him so she could keep him safe. As the helicopter left, Marley made a butterfly shape with her hands to say goodbye. Moving forward, Robert and Sam do their usual things, but when they are about to go home, something odd happens. A mannequin is near the bridge, and Robert isn't sure he put it there. Thinking he's going crazy, Robert shoots at the mannequin to show it's not real. The mannequin falls over. Then Rob thinks he hears something whispering around him and starts shooting in the air in a panic. When nothing happens, Robert decides to look at the mannequin, but as he gets closer, a car falls and a rope catches him. It turns out the Darkseekers copied his trap. Sam hits his head, and blood falls onto the ground. He faints. A bit later, Robert wakes up when his alarm goes off. Sam is still there, and the sun is about to go down. Robert cuts the rope with a knife. He hurts his leg when he falls and has to pull himself on the ground to get free. Sam follows him at first, but stops when she hears growling from a building. Alpha is with a group of sick dogs and lets them go after Robert, but the dogs return when they almost get stung by the last bit of sunlight. Robert makes himself stand up and runs to the car to get his gun just before the sun goes down and the dogs can attack. One jumps on and Sam bites her, while Robert fights the others. He has a hard time holding his gun and shoots them all one by one. Sam is hurting, so Robert takes her to the lab and gives her medicine. He holds her tight and sings to her, but unfortunately, it seems it's too late for Sam, as the disease is slowly taking over her body. Robert is very sad and has to put Sam to sleep. It's probably the hardest scene to witness in the whole movie. After she dies, Robert buries Sam in the garden. "You will be missed, old girl." He tries to go back to his everyday life. He takes a lot of medicine to try and forget the pain. When he goes to the video store, he talks to a mannequin that flirts with him. He says he promised his best friend he would do that. The mannequin doesn't talk back, which upsets Robert. Angry, Robert drives his car into some Darkseekers at night for revenge. He kills some of them, but the others attack him because Alpha told them to. So they climb on a light pole which falls on Robert's car. They flip the car to trap Robert inside, but when Alpha enters the car through a window, a UV light blinds them all and makes the Darkseekers run away. Robert is hurt in the car accident, but someone helps him. He gives them his address and asks not to be followed. That night, he dreams of his family. After the helicopter leaves, the government blows up a bridge to close the island. The helicopter crashes into Robert's family, killing them. The next morning, Robert wakes up to a cartoon on TV. His leg is stitched, but he's careful and grabs a gun before going into the kitchen. He thinks he sees his family, but it's Anna and her son Ethan who saved him. Anna makes breakfast, so Robert puts down his gun and sits with them to listen to Anna's story. They're from Maryland and heard Robert's message. They're going to Vermont, where there are other survivors in the mountains where the cold should keep the virus away. Robert doesn't believe it and tells Anna everyone is dead. He's upset and goes upstairs to be alone for a bit. After calming down, Robert joins the others and quotes a movie to show Ethan he's friendly. Robert admits he loves that movie and feels like the monster because he has no friends. Robert thanks Anna for saving him, and they talk. Anna says she was on a Red Cross ship from Sao Paulo, but it wasn't permanent. When the Navy left, Anna's group went to find supplies and their boat was stolen. 5 people from her group were immune, but Darkseekers killed them. Anna plans to go to Vermont, but Robert wants to stay and work on a cure. If you support Robert's idea to stay and find a cure, subscribe to the channel. They later check the area where they found Robert. He looks at the trap and notes it was made from their tools. Robert doesn't think the Darkseekers did it because they shouldn't be able to plan or feel emotions. Anna thinks they could evolve. They then take Ethan to play in a fountain. When Ethan complains about the cold water, Robert gets an idea. They go home and Robert puts the female Darkseeker on ice, thinking it might help the medicine work. Anna finds photos showing that Robert tested the medicine on humans before, but it didn't work. Anna finds Ethan sleeping on the couch, so Robert offers to take him to his daughter's old bed. Anna finds photos of Robert's family and he tells her about them. He explains their daughter was named after Bob Marley, whom Anna didn't know. Robert is surprised and plays his favorite CD for her, saying Bob Marley was his inspiration because of his positive attitude throughout his life. At night, Robert closes all the windows. Anna tries to convince him to join them. Robert questions how she can be sure there's a surviving colony outside New York. Anna says God told her. Robert gets angry. He yells at her, saying most people are dead and the rest are demons, so there's no God. They then hear a noise outside. The Darkseekers followed the smell of the blood from last night and are now here. Anna runs to get Ethan while Robert turns on the outside lights, but the Darkseekers destroy them. Robert sets off the explosives he had buried, killing some of the Darkseekers. Later, Robert goes upstairs to find Anna, but is attacked by Alpha. They fight. Robert uses a screwdriver to attack him, but Alpha doesn't feel much pain and throws Robert. Robert grabs a hidden weapon and shoots Alpha, who evades the shot and hides. Robert shoots a gas canister, causing an explosion. Alpha runs upstairs, and Robert chases him until he jumps out the window. Later, Robert finds Anna and Ethan hiding under furniture while a Darkseeker destroys the ceiling. Robert grabs a nearby gun and shoots the monster. He hears a noise outside and learns Alpha has returned with more Darkseekers. They all hide in the lab as the Darkseekers climb the building to enter through a hole. Robert and Anna find that the female test subject is improving, meaning the cure works. But the Darkseekers break into the lab, and Robert has to close the glass door. He tries to tell them he can save them, but they don't listen. When Alpha arrives, he breaks the glass and draws a butterfly, reminding Robert of Marley. Robert realizes the Darkseekers have feelings and are there to save their friend. He stops the machines and takes the woman out, ignoring Anna's protests. He injects the woman with medicine, waking her up. Alpha celebrates their reunion before leaving with her. Robert tries to apologize, but only gets a growl. Understanding the town belongs to the Darkseekers, he agrees to move with Anna and Ethan. The following day, they start their journey to Vermont. Anna makes a new recording telling any survivors where the safe colony is. And with that, the movie ends. If you've enjoyed this recap, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.